Hi dear students, this is Fanindra, a faculty for financial management at CMA interlevel and strategic financial management paper at CMA final level. Today I am here to discuss about financial management and business data analytics paper, June 2025 attempt. So let us have some understanding regarding this paper. The paper analysis, I am not here to discuss about the solutions and all. I'll just tell you how our strategy is working here. Okay. Yes. Look at the MCQ segment section A. If you remember, dear students, I've given you one strategy regarding financial management paper. So I'm just referring such strategy here. Okay. See, first two questions are related to theory. Now look at the third question. This is related to capital busting, payback reciprocal question, a simple question. Fourth question is characteristics of commercial paper. Fifth question is related to working capital management. See, definitely you can handle third question. Very easy question. Fourth one you can answer. Fifth one, working capital management, cash conversion cycle question. And next one, financial leverage computation, a simple question, leverages from leverages. And this is from dividend policy. And this one is related to time value of money, eighth question. And next one, ratio analysis. This one, dividend policy. This one, leverages. And finally, this is also from ratio analysis. Yes, remaining three questions are related to business data analytics, BDA. So if you can follow my strategy, then definitely you can attempt third question, fourth, fifth. I mean around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Around 10 questions you can answer. 10 questions means 10 into 2, 20 marks. So from MCQs, you can get at least 20 marks if you have followed my strategy. Okay. Now, see, I told you, if you remember, just ignore business data analytics paper. And I told you, ignore theory also. So I ignored theory question and also the business data analytics paper questions. Okay. Now look at the second, the second segment of the question paper, section B. 2A, 2B, both of these questions are related to, see, this one question is related to business data analytics, the other question is related to markets. It is regarding financial markets and all. Okay, so you can't attempt this question. As I told you, you don't need to attempt that question. In fact, even if you attempt that question, you don't get much marks. That's the reason. Okay, now as I told you, if you remember, so third A, I told you already, this question, this 3A, 3B and 4A, these three questions are related to tools for financial analysis, if you remember. That is ratio analysis. Next one is common size and comparative statement analysis, and then this is cash flow statement, funds flow statement. See, if you can cover that particular module, definitely you can attempt for 21 marks. That's what I told you, if you remember. So as it is, they're just following the trend from the past three attempts, and this is a fourth attempt. They're following the same trend. So if you can cover that particular chapter, tools for financial analysis, 3A, 3B and 4A, 3 sevens are 21 marks you can attempt. See, these three questions are very simple questions also. So hope you have attempted like that, 21 marks here from tools for financial analysis. And I told you 4B is always related to cost of capital. That is from cost of capital, weighted average cost of capital computation. So if you have prepared cost of capital also, definitely you can attempt this question, because this is a very basic question. Nothing great here. Compute cost of individual sources computation, like cost of equity, cost of reserves, cost of preference, cost of debentures and cost of term loans. And then calculating weighted average cost of capital. This ex-dividend prices, you have to consider these prices only. Don't bother about it. Always for calculating cost of individual sources, I should consider ex-dividend prices only. Okay. So if you have prepared cost of capital also, you can attempt point B, 4B also. Okay. But I told you, you can ignore cost of capital and dividend policy chapters, if you remember. Okay. If you want to attempt for 90 plus marks, then you should prepare those chapters also. So this is regarding 4B. And look at 5A. 5A, a very simple question from capital busting, NPV computation and profitability index computation. 5A. I told you already, 5A is always comes from what? NPV segment, NPV calculation. They have given that question. But surprisingly, my dear students, 5B. Even 5B is also related to NPV related question. This is related to NPV related, project viability. They ask you to calculate whether the company should introduce a new product or not. So simply you just need to calculate NPV. If you can calculate NPV for this question, then you'll get 7 marks. So look at the question. Introducing a new product. Estimated profits and related expenses and how your working capital investment is working here. Everything was given here. The question is related to NPV. So surprisingly, both of these questions are related to NPV calculation actually. Okay. Both of these questions are related to NPV calculation. And as I told you already, 5A is always, that is always coming from NPV question. And surprisingly, point B, which is supposed to be coming from what this particular area is called equivalent annualized cost or annualized NPV or some other concept, capital rationing, like that they should ask actually. They're supposed to ask these questions, but fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. Again, another question they have asked you from NPV only. So if you are good at NPV computation, you can handle this question also. This is good news, and in fact, actually. So for 5A and 5B, as I told you, always 5A and 5B are related to capital busting. They ask you like that. Now 6A, this is related to working capital estimate computation. I told you already 6A, they're always asking one question from working capital estimate from 6A. From working capital management, 6A is always, that is coming from which question, which concept? Working capital estimate calculation. Simply, if you're good at calculating the working capital requirement, estimation of working capital requirement, this is the question. This is a simple question, but some points were given in an ambiguous way actually. See, why? Because students are not able to identify the cost of production, the cost of sales. Those terms were not clearly available in this question. But if you are good at identifying those points, you can easily attempt this question. But if you ask me, this is somewhat a moderate type question. I don't say this is a difficult question, but this is a moderate type question. If you are good at solving this question also, you'll get 7 marks here from working capital estimate. My dear students, 6A question. And 6B, I told you the other part of the working capital management, they ask you always from what, from either from Baumel's model or Miller model, cash management models, or else they'll ask you from other concepts in working capital management like MPBF or some other concepts. So suddenly they ask you to calculate, prepare this particular evaluation of alternative credit policy statement. So that's a question, a very simple question, but one tricky point is given here. That is, considering this additional fixed cost when your sales is more than 15%, when your sales increases more than 15%, applicable for 3 months context actually. If you can consider such additional fixed cost for the 3 months policy, credit policy, then this question is so easy. Okay, so this is from debtors management actually. This is from debtors management or receivables management. So as I told you, 6A is from working capital estimate. 6B, you may expect, you might have expected from Baumel's model or Miller model or from MPBF concept. Surprisingly, they asked one question from debtors management, because you should be ready for that actually always. Why? Because always this 6A and 6B or the questions from these questions are always from which chapter? Working capital management. So they're just following the trend, nothing great here. Okay, now dear students, see, even if you're not comfortable with 6A, definitely you should have attempted this question 6B. If you are not comfortable with 6B, you should have attempted for 6A. 7 marks guaranteed from sixth question. Okay, now 7th question. See, this 7th question, point A, this is from dividend policy, a strike question, nothing great. Regarding optimum dividend policy, Walter's model. I told you already, either Walter or Gordon, they'll ask you always. So this 7A question, this is from dividend policy, nothing great. No new concepts were covered and no new models were covered. Simply a direct question was asked in this particular 7A. So this is from 7 marks. This is for 7 marks. Okay. Now 7B, this is a standard question from leverages. As I told you, this question is always related to leverages. So a strike question was asked straight away. 7B, this will give you 7 marks. Okay. So I told you 8th question literally ignore. Why? Because this is a theory question. If you are not good at business data analytics and theory, always you can ignore this 8th question and question number 2. Okay. So my dear students, if you have followed my strategy, definitely you'd be able to attempt for 70 plus marks to get 55 plus and 90 plus marks to get at least 80 plus marks. Okay, so if you look at this, first I'll refer for 55 plus marks to get 55 plus marks, 20 from MCQs. So definitely you should have attempted this third 3A, 3B and 4A, 21 marks from this tools for financial analysis. And then next question, this NPV calculation, definitely you should have attempted this. This will give you 7 marks. If you are not good at attempting this question 7B, I'm ignoring this. Next one, and this is working capital management. One out of these two questions you should have attempted definitely. So I'm taking only 7 marks out of these two questions. So next one, 7A, 7B, definitely you should have attempted these two questions. 7 plus 7, 14. So how many marks? Just look at this. 14 plus 7, 21. 21 plus 7, 28. 28 plus 21, 49. 49 plus 20. 49 plus 20 from MCQ, 70. So if you have attempted for 70 plus marks, at least you should get at least 55 plus marks. So if you can follow my strategy, definitely you should have attempted for 70 plus marks to get these 55 plus marks. So in case if you're good at covering all the concepts except business data analytics and theory concepts in financial management, you should have attempted for 90 plus marks as per my strategy to get 80 plus marks, because most of the questions are so easy. 1 or 2 questions are tricky. If you're covering those points also, if you have covered those 2 points also, definitely you should have attempted for 90 plus marks and definitely you'll get 80 plus marks. Hope you have attempted for good amount of marks and you'll get better amount of marks in the main examination. All the very best, my dear students. Thank you so much.